the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, you talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. Check, we Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairin', gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, they find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. To the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, Black Sun, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairin' on him, Ric Flairin' on him, Ric Flairin' on him, Ric Flairin' son.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man, A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? You already know that it is your boy Scotty back with another happy Friday. All you Bama's out there in this good for second world. Listen, I'm glad you guys could attend this session today. I appreciate you guys and everything. I hope you guys had a wonderful day at work, or you know, if you had a day off, or happy Father's Day coming up. Right, you know, Father's Day weekend, make sure you're doing something special for said person in your life, dad, partner, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the fathers out there, right? Shout out to all the fathers out there for Father's Day. Now listen, I came dressed for the occasion. Because we talk about some big, bad Braves. Woo, woo, woo! We talking about some Braves today. Listen, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? We talking about some Braves today. We're coming in full force. Okay, coming in full force. So, talk about some Braves today and what the situation is going on out there. So, make sure you guys stay tuned to the whole video. I know a lot of you Bammers be watching this on replay. Make sure y'all stay to the end of the video because that's what I'm going to do this segment. Now, before I get into it, I got to give you guys this story time. When it happened to me, I looked at my wife. I said, you know I'm about to talk about this on the channel, right? She said, I know. Let me give you guys a quick story time and we'll get to the show. So me and Kia are looking for houses, right? We out here looking for houses in Ohio. So we got a cool little white boy, realtor, real cool down there dude. So we go into this nice house, right? Nice house. So when we walk in, I look at Key and I say, you smell that? Because you know the smell of the Mary J. You know what I'm saying? You know the smell of Mary J, right? Or as my mom would say, ganja, right? Reefer. My mom would say reefer. I'm sorry. She says reefer. Reefer. Right? So we walk into this house and I'm talking, listen, it's strong. It's like there's no doubt about it. You know something is going on in this house. But listen, we in the whitest of white area. When I tell you, it's in a nice ass development sitting on a half an acre of land. So when I don't gotta tell you the price, but the price is up there, okay? I don't want y'all ever to be counting my pockets. Just know the price was up there, okay? So we ain't in no hood situation. We in there, right? We in a nice situation. So we walking around, nice house, everything, da-da-da. So we checking it. It's a ranch style house with a basement, right? So we going through, we looking at the house. So we go to the basement and full kitchen in the basement, in-law suite. When I say it's nice, it's nice. They got a whole fish tank built into the wall. Listen, it's nice. So we going through the basement or whatever. We open these two doors, right? They are growing weed in the house. It is two big ass. I'm talking about like how high botany style growing weed in the basement. Like two big ass bushels of weed, water spraying. I mean, fan blowing, everything. Like right there. Like, I'm looking at, because I'm like, if this was, I like, do we run? Do we leave? Do I break off a stem and sell a nickel back? I didn't know what to do. I look at Key like, I said, babe, I knew I smell weed too. Right? Look, dog. Listen, I can't, dog. I was so baffled. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. Like, I'm like, I would have never. So I asked the realtor, I'm like, you allowed to do this in Ohio? Like, you allowed to do this in Ohio? He's like, I mean, like, I'm like, dang, I can do it. I can have a secondary job. You know what I'm saying? Like, do YouTube a day and sell nickel bags and ounces by the caseload at night. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So I was flabbergasted. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. Like a full blown weed plant, like 2 big. I'm talking about big ass weed plants, like off the, like you can literally off the stem, It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. I looked at Key. I said, "You know, I'm not talking about this on the channel." She said, she shook her head. She said, "Yeah, I know." Crazy. Cool. It was crazy. I just never seen nothing like that in my life. So I was talking. Listen, man, it was different. It was different. And I mean, man, listen. And I knew I was I knew I was dealing with somebody very smart, because like I'm walking around the house and like I go into the basement and they have like a little mini server, right? They got like they got a NAS, they got a whole switch. I mean, they got a whole switch, what is it? God darn it. Switchboard where you got like multiple it's not called a switch. Is it called a switch? I don't remember if it's called a switch. It's like where you got like the ports. It's like 24 ports on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got that. They got like it was crazy. So I knew I wasn't dealing with no idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, you got an internal storage. You got the whole server board. It wasn't the server board. It's the port board that you connect. Like if you was in a commercial switch can have ports. Okay, so it was a switchboard. So it was a big switch. Like I had 24 ports on it. So it was a big switch. And I'm like, oh, this dude doing it down here. You know what I'm saying? So it was fire. It was fire. Like, the whole setup. It was a patch panel. Yes, it was a patch panel with a switch. Thank you so much. All right, I knew we had some geniuses up in here. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know what I'm saying? So it was dope. Yeah, it was dope. He had a whole setup. So it was really nice. So the house was half off. I wish. I wish. It was not cheap. I tell you that. It was not cheap. So, but yeah, man, that was pretty interesting. That was my weekend. We did a little. I mean, that was yesterday. We did that yesterday. So it was my weekend. I'm sorry. We did that yesterday. So yeah, we did a little house hunting on yesterday up here in the Ohio patch panel. Thank you so much, Lord Tanya. All right, let's get into today's show. But before that, talk about Elite 15 Coffee. Elite 15 Coffee, you want to start your day in an elite way, you got to get yourself in the Elite 15 Coffee. Link is in the description below. Black-owned, veteran-owned business. Get your coffee the right way, okay? Get your coffee the right I can't stand this man, but I swear Nick always got me cracking up in these chat. That boy's stupid. Get your get your coffee. I'm all discombobulated. Get your coffee in an elite way. Go click the link in the description below. Buy some Elite 15 Coffee, black-owned coffee business. Yeah, he really messed me up on that. All right, listen. All right. Also, we at 260 right now, still on the road to 300 for the memberships, all right? Make sure you members pay your tithes and off. Oh, goddamn. Hey, listen. I gotta blow myself up with it. Hey, listen. I told the members, I said, if this is found out to be a scam, I said they are never going to let you live it down. Never in a million years will anybody ever forget the time that FAMU got duped for $237 million. Boy, I tell you, God, though, I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was playing, but I told y'all. I told you. Anyway, make sure you guys go ahead and become an Offscript membership, man. Pay your tithes and offerings. You guys are watching me, watching you. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel and do some stuff like that. We appreciate you guys and all the members that we do have and all the members we continue to grow. And also be on the lookout for Offscript Gaming. Listen, I am saving up pennies by pennies for my PS5 so I can do the NCAA Offscript Gaming. We hitting it hard, okay? Hitting it hard. Now, the game comes out July 17th. My son is due July 23rd. Okay? Understand, I only got a few days to pop this off. So bear with me. I only got a few days. Then I'm going to have a newborn, and then I got to be on newborn duty. Okay? So don't try to be like, oh, Scotty, you ain't nice with the sticks. I got responsibilities. Okay? I'm dadding. Okay? So bear with me. I'm dadding. So, but when I get some time away, understand, I'm going to be gaming. Okay? So I just want to make sure we get that understood. Now, I have a question. I have a question for all you members out there. Who is behind this list? Who is behind this list? Because the only thing about this list that is right is that there is no PV quarterback to be found. Because PV is still looking for a quarterback. Okay, so that's the only thing that is right about this list. Now, I don't know much about Isaiah Freeman. I really don't. But from what I've seen in some of the stats, it's not a bad choice. Right? It's not a bad choice. Daniel Richardson at number 2, can't see it. Can't see it. David Wright at number 3. I do like David. I like him and Kelvin Durham from Fort Valley State. I think those guys are throwers. How North Carolina A&T has a quarterback on this list is asinine. Them ninjas was 1-11. Who do you think? No, North Carolina. If PV don't got a quarterback on here and they went to the SWAC championship, how the hell does North Carolina A&T got a quarterback on here? Come on, man. Stop it. Let me see here. Let me go. I think Walker Harris is too high. I'm gonna just be honest, because I mean the kid played like 3 or 4 games, and the biggest game was against Valley. I think he's just a little too high for me. Let me get this straight. How is Xavier Vaughn even on this list when everybody is talking about Draco Mako, whatever his name is, right? The kid that came last year but couldn't crack the starting lineup. Well, he did, and then he got kicked to the side, and then so I don't know how Xavier Vaughn is even on this list, right? Just want to say that. Jace, I think Jace is in a good spot. I think Draylon Ellis is a little too low for me, to my personal understanding. I think if we're talking about, I think he could be in the top 10, maybe top 11. Let me see. Otto Coons, I think he could be a little higher. Listen, Chris Zealous is nice, but he's a turnover machine. That boy is a walking turnover, okay? So I would put Otto Coons over Chris Zealous. I think Chris Zealous is pretty nasty, though. But for real, Justin Foamby from North Carolina A&T, that Bama just got to get off this list, because I'm like, if you go to North Carolina A&T and they were just 1-11, I can't hear nothing you saying. Now, do I think Andrew Body is top 5? I absolutely do that. I absolutely do not. And the reason I say that is only because he did not play last year. If he played last year, then absolutely probably my number 1 quarterback, or at least number 2. I don't think that is fair. I don't think that's fair that Andrew is over quarterbacks like Eric Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, Miles Crawley, you know, Jacoby and Morgan, Chris. Like, I don't like, is Andrew Body top 10? Absolutely. But I don't think it's fair that guys who played, that he gets over guys who played. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me personally. But if you want to base it off what he's done, then okay, cool. You know, but I just don't, for this year, I think he could be like number 8 or number 9. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody said Miles, I think it was, who was it? Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole said, she put on Twitter, she was like, Miles Crawley over Andrew, you know, that's crazy. And I'm like, it's not really crazy. It's not that crazy, you know. I mean, yeah, that Daniel Richardson at number 2 is really bothering me as well. And no, I don't think Daniel Richardson be number 2. Listen, the number 2 quarterback coming back to me, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't have a problem with David Wright at number 2 at Clark Atlanta. I would not have a problem with that at all. I wouldn't have had a problem with Let me think. I'm trying to see these guys. Just on this list, I'm trying to see. I'm gonna have to go watch Marquis Adams from Delaware State again. I'm gonna have to check him out. Yeah, I can't. Nah, Daniel Richardson at number 2 is just crazy to me. If you wanted to go Miles at number 2, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at Eric Phoenix being top 5. I definitely wouldn't be mad at that because of his reconnection with the head coach from South Carolina State, Chennis Berry. His reconnection with Chennis Berry, so I wouldn't be mad at that. If you wanted to have Jacoby and Morgan in the top 5, I wouldn't be mad at that. Right. So, I mean, it's all a really preference at this point. I do agree with you. I think Shelby, I do agree with you. I think Draylen Ellis should be a lot higher. I think Draylen Ellis should be definitely top 10 for what he's done at Tennessee State. Let me think. Anybody else? Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think I think Daniel Richardson should have been on the back half. I think he should have been between 11 and 20, in my personal opinion, because he hasn't done anything in the SWAC per se. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go with the Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you done in the SWAC? So that's my thing. Or what have you done in, HBCU football? Let me see. I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't listen. I haven't watched a lot of Isaiah Freeman, but if you go look at, let me say this. Listen, the first thing I did was go look at his stats. If you go look at that Bama stats, they not shabby. I know he played Division II, right? Division II, Division III, or somewhere around there. Whereas Lincoln, I think Lincoln's NAIA, if I'm not mistaken. That's Langston. I think that's Langston. Yeah, Lincoln's D2. Okay. So he played some D2 football. And his stats are not shabby at all. Okay, so 6'2" quarterback. He's probably 6'1". You know how people boost. He's probably 6'1". I think he had like 9 interceptions, 25 touchdowns, over 450 yards rushing as a quarterback. It's not bad. He's really not bad. Like, I mean, if you look at it, his stuff, it's really not that bad. So, I mean, it's not, it's not bad. So, I'm surprised he stayed there for another year. I mean, he probably could have came up and a SWAC team probably could have scooped him. A team like PV. See, this is why I'm telling y'all that Bama, them ninjas at PV don't. The Bama he's literally like right there for the taking. You don't have a quarterback. You don't. We saw your spring game. Well, I saw it. It was absolutely atrocious. And any PV fan that tells you that spring game, listen, let me tell you how bad the spring game was. Imagine Stevie Wonder trying to play Battleship.
Oh, goddamn.
That's all you gotta know. That's how bad them quarterbacks were. Imagine Stevie Wonder trying to play Battleship. D4. Miss. A3. Miss. E7. Miss. Like that was PV's spring game. That was PV. Okay, do your homework. The Bama has no stats. He has not. Dog, the Bama has no stats. This is what I be talking about when I be talking about like fans and stuff. Like, Lucas Cooley has not played a whole season at quarterback since he's been in college. The Bama got like 12 snaps. He hasn't started a whole game since he's been in college. And this is who they thought. Oh, Lucas Cooley. Lucas Cooley. Lucas Cooley. What? Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Stop. That's what I'm saying. Like, Bama just be out here just talking. Bama don't got no stats. Bama done started 12 games. I mean, he had 12 snaps. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Killing them. Come on, man. Stop it. What are we talking about, man? I'm not saying that listen, some kids just need an opportunity, right? Some kids just need an opportunity. But what I'm speaking on right now is if this is why PV took that spring game down off of YouTube. If anybody had a chance to watch, Bama's probably went to the spring game. I don't know why you wasted money. I'm telling you, listen to me. If you want to know what the PV offense looked like, anytime the quarterbacks threw the ball, it was literally Stevie Wonder playing Battleship. Braille. F5. Miss. Miss again. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. So, I'm telling you, this trash. It's absolutely trash. Trash. So, miss me with it. So, all them PV fans, listen, you can lie to each other. Okay, I saw the game. Like you can lie to each other. I saw the game. Bama's couldn't hit nothing. Bama's couldn't hit much. How do you feel about Quentin Stubblefield from Incarnate Word committing to? Ooh, hey, I'm gonna have to check this kid out. But okay, just because somebody comes from Incarnate Word doesn't mean they're that guy. But I'm not gonna say he's bad, right? Like so. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to check him out. I'm going to go watch. Listen, y'all know how I get down. I got to go watch the tape, okay? I know a lot of people would say, they'll tell you something. And, oh, yeah, the kid's 6'4" and he's 280 and he's rocket arm. Like, bro, I'm going to go watch the game. I'm going to go watch if they got tape, I'm going to go watch the tape. That's just how I get down. I don't like to make, listen, let me tell you something. If anybody hasn't noticed this about me, good, bad, or indifferent. If the kid can play, the kid can play, right? If the kid can play, the kid can play. So it doesn't matter what team. If you got a guy, I'm going to tell you got a guy. And if you use him right, no diddy, right, that he can be beneficial to your team. That's just how I get down. And I'm going to keep saying it. Like, I'm supposed to stop saying that. Jackson State fans, they can say whatever they want about me, but I was on the Jacobian Morgan bandwagon from the beginning. Okay? I was on that bandwagon from the beginning. And you guys know I want Jackson State to lose every game. Okay? But when you got a guy, I'm going to tell you, you got a guy. And Jacobian Morgan was a guy. And I was like, hey, this kid's special. He can do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be very clear. So when it just comes down to the game of football, I'm going to tell you what I see based off what you know what I'm saying, what you got. And if you got a guy, you got a guy. I'm gonna tell you got a guy. But if you ain't got no guy, I'm gonna tell you ain't got no guy. And if I'm being honest, I haven't really been wrong in my transfer evals, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of those guys that I said were decent, they were decent. And a lot of guys I said that weren't good, they really weren't impactful. So, I'm still working on that. So I'm doing pretty well if I do say so myself. All right. So let's get into today's main topic. It might change up to a woo, woo, woo. It might be bad boys. What you want, what you gonna do when Jerome come home for you? Tell me what you wanna do. So I'm gonna just say that. Right? So listen, get your tea, get your popcorn. I feel like this is a Tyler Perry movie. Okay, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. Okay, just like a Tyler Perry movie, we've seen this before. Okay, now let me make this very clear. Today's show is sponsored by Disclaimer. The disclaimer is that anything said or, in the prognostication of this clip is not to anybody personally, because I do not know any individual personally. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. Okay? In my opinion. Today's video is sponsored by Disclaimer. Because I'm going to say some stuff that people ain't going to like. That's just me personally. So here we go. Now, yesterday on Twitter, or on X, formerly known as Twitter, I feel like we're talking about Prince, Tyler Smith drops this bombshell on Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. Bump X. I'm calling it Twitter. All right. He says, regret letting some people ever help me 100. Coach T called. Now, this is from somebody else texting him. First of all, let me just say this. Why you have friends with green bubbles? I don't know. I don't know who got the Android in this situation, but somebody needs to get cut off. Okay. If it's not blue, I don't need you sending it to me. Okay. If it's not blue bubbles, don't bring that mess over here. Okay. Just want to be very clear. So this whole conversation started off wrong anyway, because Bama's got green bubbles. Okay. Let's go back to the topic. All right. So it says, Coach T called me and said, get in touch with him something about the car note. And in the text, now this is Tyler responding to the text message. He said, he told me if you need help, let him know and he can pay till you can get on your feet. If not, he gonna pay full, and he said he gonna need to get that car. Now, this is Coach T. This is Coach T. Now, let me just be very clear. I don't know how you can trust somebody dressed like this. That's just me personally. Okay? This has gremlin, grimy, something about this look just don't sit well with me. Okay? It just don't sit well with me. Okay? Now, it is a draft. It is a draft. But this is him talking to his homeboy who hit him up. Okay? I'm just saying, just talking to him, hit him up. So this is my thing. I'll go further. It's more, right? So this is all on Tyler Smith on Twitter yesterday. This is all him yesterday. He says, all I ever did was put my head down and work. And now that I'm tired of giving my all for a coach who does nothing but tear me down, he want to make threats about taking the car. Shit crazy. I didn't play for free for this man, played on a half a scholarship, and slept on my frat bro couch because that's just how bad I wanted it. I never had no pity party for myself because that's life. It's only going to get harder. Time waits for no man, and I'm not about to let it pass me up. You'll be surprised at who people really are. God showed me. Okay. Continuing on. He says, who they really are. So if people wondering why I ain't graduating from Alcorn, this is why I can no longer be in the same room as that demon. I mean, listen, the ears, the hairline. I'm not calling him a demon, but he's gremlin is very, very close. I talked to him personally and explained all my trauma and my struggles, and I get treated like shit. I know my worth, and I'm only want to grieve in peace. I can't even grieve in peace because I got to deal with bullshit And hell yeah, it's a chance I might not ever play football again, but I'm going to live my life filled with no regrets. I'll happily go to my grave knowing I chased and pursued, pretty much his dream. Now, this is the thing for me. If you don't remember this guy, Tyler Smith is the young man who lost his mom after an Alcorn game. So when you hear him talking, and I really want y'all to feel this. This is my thing. He lost his mom after the Alcorn game. She was driving back on the highway and got into a head-on collision. I believe he lost his mom and his sister. So when he's talking about grieving, he's talking about grieving his mom and his sister, his loss. Now, mind you, this is my thing. This is my thing. This is why I'm such an advocate for players. To me, and y'all can say however y'all feel. Alcorn should have put this kid on scholarship as soon as he lost his mama. And that goes to Fred McNair, right? That goes to Fred McNair. That goes to Cedric Thomas because that's his DC, right? Alcorn should have put him on scholarship as soon as he lost his mom. As soon as that, thank you, G. See, there you go. There we go. See, thank you, G. I appreciate it. Because that's not what he said. He said he's going to have scholarship. Okay? So thank you, G. I appreciate that. So they did right by him. So this is my thing. So I'll give him that. Thank you. I'm about to say, because the Bama went on for a scholarship, that's negative number one right there, right? So let's talk about the car, right? Now, the situation on the car. I don't know from the last staff. Okay, I got you. Let me put this up so everybody can see it. He came on as a walk-on from the last staff. Appreciate you, G. All right. So let me talk about the car. Now, I have no details. I didn't want to listen. I usually reach out to players. I didn't want to really reach out to Tyler because this is a very it's getting good. Okay, listen, I'm not here. Y'all figure that out in the comments. We gonna touch on that. All right. So if he's not on full scholarship, that's trash by Alcorn. I'm just say that right now. If he's not on full scholarship, it's trash by Alcorn. But he was on a half scholarship. That's trash on Alcorn. Let me just say that. If this is true, it's trash by Alcorn. Anyway, so let's talk about the car, right? Now, I don't have a problem with Cedric Thomas telling the young man that he would help him with the car, especially during the time. And I like I said, I did not reach out to Tyler, so I don't know the time frame in which he started or whatever. But I'm just assuming if he started after he lost his mom and said, hey, if you need something, if you need some of this and that and the third, that I'm going to help you out, that's cool. I'm cool with that, right? My issue is this. If you're going to do the gesture, you can then not come back and be begging and asking him for the money or for the car. That's grimy. That is beyond grimy. And I know a lot of people, listen, I get it. Okay. But let's look at the circumstances, right? I know you guys are going to be the NCAA, this league. I get all that. But if you were doing it out the kindness of your heart for a kid that was come on, man. Like, this wasn't just, it wasn't like he lost his job. The man lost his mom and his sister, and they came to playing the game that he loved. Like, there has to be a different type of situation, bro. So I don't have a problem if Cedric Thomas stepped up in the gap for him because of that. My issue is this. If you could not continue the payments, or you felt that you had, give the kid 30 days, 40 days, 60 days and say, hey, listen, man, I can't do that. I'm gonna give you 60 days to kind of figure it out or do whatever you can, or what, boo, 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 whatever, or 3 months or 4, whatever. Give him a time period so he can transition to get his stuff together, so he can do what's necessary, right? Because he's still got a brother that's at Delta State, I believe, right? So just like work with the kid, because I'm assuming you offered it, right? I feel like you offered it. I don't think he came to you and said, hey, coach, can you pay my car note? That doesn't seem like something that Tyler Smith would do. That's just me personally, right? You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then it is what it is. And if Coach T only co-signed, you made the decision to do so. Like, if you were trying to help a kid out and you know what he's going through, right? You still are the adult in the situation to now say, hey, listen, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep trying to. You can then not pull the rug out underneath the kid and say, yo, I want the car back. You co-signed. Like, even I'll give you this, right? Even if Tyler Smith, before, let's say Tyler Smith asked you to co-sign before his mom passed, and you made an agreement with him and saying, hey, listen, if you miss so many amount of payments, if you do this, I'm gonna have to come get the car from you. And he agreed to that, right? He probably would have, oh yeah, coach, I got you. Cool, we'll do it, right? Then the situation happens with his mom. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? This is my thing. At what happened to the GoFundMe? Now, I do believe he got 50. Listen. Now, I think there's a percentage. He got $50,000 on GoFundMe, right? He did get $50,000 on GoFundMe. I don't know how that money was spent. I know GoFundMe does take a percentage out of that, but I don't know the details on how that money was split. And how that got down, right? So he did get $50,000 in GoFundMe. So I do not know how that money is spent. I do not know how that money was allocated. Once again, I'm telling y'all straight up, I did not reach out to Tyler because I know this is a very touchy subject, and I didn't want to dive into like all the minutiae and details of, because you can hash up some stuff, like, you know, it gets emotional and all that type of stuff. So I'm just going strictly off these Twitter messages or whatever, right? So I'm gonna just apologize because I couldn't really do my due diligence on how I usually would do something, right? So, but this is my thing. I think it was honorable for Coach Thomas to co-sign. And listen, and we know as Black people, he probably had a long conversation with Tyler, right? A long conversation with Tyler about, hey, you know, if I co-sign for this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and you know, if I do this, I'm gonna. But I think to a certain extent, and this is just me, like at some point in time, you gotta brunt that cost because of what you signed up for, and you know the situation, right? You know the situation with his mom and how that thing transpired and how it went down like that. So it's a very, very finicky situation. Right, you got G in the chat saying that he was on full scholarship. If you go check out his tweets, he says he's on half scholarship. His line brother is in the chat saying he was on half scholarship as well. So very, very mixed stories coming out of the place. But at the end of the day, the responsibility is on the adult, and the burden to me is on Cedric Thomas. And my only thing is this: you know the situation with his mom. And I just feel as though that with everything that is transpiring with this kid, like to try to either go get the car, to try to either harass him about the car or harass him about, you know what I'm saying, like the payments on the car. Like there has to be some type of, I think there has to be some type of grace in that situation. Now, I'm not saying that Tyler Smith is absolved for his responsibility of taking care of the car. He's not absolved from that. But it's just like, these tweets, man, like it's tough, man. Like it's like the kid is pouring his heart over Twitter about how he's been treated, how he was done wrong at Alcorn. He says, sad part is Coach T and Tyler's mom are from the same hometown, same high school and all. Tyler transferred from the Bluff to follow Coach T, and Coach T told his mom he was going to take care of him. And I believe it because in this one, he said, before my mother passed away, Coach T and my mother fell out real bad after I followed him to JUCO. It seemed like since then he's been on a personal vendetta or something. I can go on and on. I'm sick of this shit. Now, this is the conundrum. This is the conundrum with what he's saying is that you're telling me he had a personal vendetta for you, but he signed off on your car note. Now, I don't know if he signed on your car note while you was in JUCO or while you was at Alcorn, but at some point in time, he signed off on your car note. So a personal vendetta is a hard stance to be on when somebody has signed off on your car payment. Now, if the personal vendetta has happened now since he's trying to go get the car and things like that, okay, cool. I understand that. But to say somebody had a personal vendetta against you and they signed off in your car, it's tough, right? And lastly, Malcolm McGee said, some say I was crazy for leaving Alcorn, but the truth will reveal itself. Promise you, you're not alone, family. Never stop grinding. May never know what can happen. Listen. I think Coach T signed after Camille passed. Okay. Coach T signed after Camille passed. Listen. This is a very, very sad situation because to me, right? I'm gonna just say this. If Coach T was doing everything right by the kid, I don't believe he comes on Twitter and spill his guts. Something in the background is not going well. Let me just say that, okay? If everything was going right at Alcorn, he does not get on Twitter and spill his guts and tell his side of the story. Now, you can say this. Maybe he didn't like something that coach said to him. Maybe he didn't like how coach was treating him. Maybe he got emotional or whatever. But something is being done wrong to a kid who then decides to take his grievances and puts it all up and down Twitter. Something transpired. That we do know. That we do know. Now, I reached out to some other players to ask about Coach Thomas, and a lot of people, they had nothing bad to say about Cedric, right? So I'm gonna be honest. Listen, this ain't Cedric's the evil man. I mean, he looked like a gremlin. He looked like a gremlin, right? He looked like him. But I talked to other players, and they said, like, nah, Scotty, like he a stand-up guy. He a real one. He this, he that. Now let me say this. There's a scripture. I know. I don't want to, I do follow my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. There is a scripture, and it's very important to me. And this says this. Matthew 25:34-40. And in the scripture, it's talking about Jesus' return, right? And it says, then the king will say to those on his right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. 35. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. 37. Then the righteous will answer and say, Lord, When did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see a stranger and invite you in, or needed clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick in prison and go to visit you? And the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Now listen, you can take this however you want to take it. But as soon as the scenario popped up when I saw this is the scripture that came into my mind. What you do to the least of them, right? How you treat the smallest person, the lowest person on the totem pole, is who you are as your character. That's how I feel. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Now, everybody has flaws. Nobody's perfect. You know, people do people wrong all the time and stuff like that, right? But what you do to the last man on the roster and how you treat that person, that's the practice squad player or the guy that you know ain't never gonna get in, how you treat that person tells me who you are. Because what that tells me is this: if they're not productive, or if they can't give you what you want, or if they're not helping you keep your job, what value do they have to you? So to me, it's like a push and pull, because in one aspect you can see the heart of Cedric Thomas by co-signing, but then you can also see the trial side of him. That's just like, why would you go and try to take the young man's car back? Or why would you make it difficult for him, knowing the circumstances that he's found himself in, knowing the relationship that you and him and his family have? Why would you do that at that time? I don't understand that. They deserve grace, but they aren't kids. They're kids when it's rough patch at the age, and adults when it's convenient. There are adults that deserve grace. Listen, I hate when people call these kids, and I do it sometimes. It slips my mouth. They're young adults. I absolutely agree, because I always say, if you can go out, if you can join the military and go shoot and kill somebody, shoot, move, and communicate, you are an adult. You're an adult. Period. If you can get sent off to war, you're an adult. Young adult, whatever. You're an adult, right? So that's the circumstance on that. So with that being said, this is just this is just such a very what bothers me about this circumstance is just that the way I think about it in my head is like this: if he didn't lose his mom, would I have the same compassion for him? And I probably would have said no, right? I probably would say no. If his mom was still living and still in the circumstances, we probably all be like, hey, that's tough, but you know, he did co-sign, he's half the owner. If you don't want to pay it, But the circumstances in this case, you're kind of like, man, like, give the kid a break. Give the kid a break. It's a tough circumstance, right? And that, to me, has to weigh in some form or fashion in the situation of, why will I take the car back, or why wouldn't I take the car back, or why would I try to, you know what I'm saying? Tyler's going through. His sister would have graduated this past May, and the class had a memorial chair amongst them, and he and his brother were man, listen, I'm gonna say this, and I know people ain't gonna like this. Like, I don't know exactly what Alcorn did to really console this kid, but let's call a spade a spade. If he's not playing at Alcorn, I hate to, like, does his mom pass away? Right? Like, those are, like, think about all the questions that probably are running, because that's the first thing that popped into my head, right? Like, damn, like if I never came to Alcorn, would my mom still be alive? Like it's if I wasn't playing, like all those, like the questions came across my mind, and it wasn't even my mama. It wasn't even my mama. So I know if that crossed my mind, it had to cross his mind. Should I have asked her to come to this game? Or, you know, she would have never been on the highway. She would have never left, and she would have never. All these circumstances. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Alcorn, no matter what, Alcorn should raise right now, right here, right now. Alcorn should raise money to pay the kid's car off. Simple. To make this go away, right? So Coach said ain't got nothing else to do with it. He can go on his way. Alcorn, raise money, pay the car, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Simple. I mean, if you just want it to go away, right? You just want the circumstance to go away so it doesn't. Raise money, pay the car off, and let the kid go, and just let that be his, hey, man, for what you've done for Alcorn, for the loss of your mom, for everything, here, bang, here you go. Here you go. We'll raise money to get your car paid off. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's good to go. That, to me, and I'm going to keep saying this. If you can raise, it's all about, what bothers me is Bama's want to raise money. Bama's want to raise money for just any old thing, right? Oh, well, we need new benches. We need new, and this is the thing, right? This is the thing, because I know a lot of people like, Scotty, if you open this Pandora's box, what about the next kid? What about the next kid? What about the next kid? What about, listen. I can't speak on that, right? I can't speak on that. The reason I feel that Alcorn should just do right by this kid, right, in this circumstance, because they say life isn't fair, and how things get placed on people is not fair as well. Right? And how people have favor and grace upon their life, right? You got the job or you got the internship and your other friend didn't. Like, favor ain't fair in certain situations, right? So to me, that's not true. They was paying Jarvion Howard. They got money. They were paying Jarvion Howard to be there. Miss me with that, right? So I just feel as though, just do right by the kid. His mom died leaving a football. She came to support her son in Alcorn, and she died in the process leaving. Why can't that be a lightning rod for them just to be like, you know what? Let's just do this for this kid. Let's do this for this kid. I don't. Favor ain't fair. I don't need a scripture for that. That's life, bro. Favor ain't fair. There's people that get favor, and there's other people who don't. That's not, I don't need a scripture for that. That's life, right? Circumstances fall upon those. It just happens, right? Like, there's things that God has ordained to happen in your life that don't happen for other people. I can say, I'll use myself as an example, right? When I say favor ain't fair. If you talk to anybody in the HBCU space, they be like, he didn't graduate from an HBCU. He didn't graduate from the SWAC. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Why is he calling himself the voice of the SWAC? Why he got 16,000 subscribers? Why people watching him? Why? Favor ain't fair. Favor ain't fair. I don't have no degree in journalism to be on here having fun with y'all and talking stuff. Breaking news, missing word on the street, hitting word on the street. Right? But I'm here. And I'm accepting my favor. Camille was at every game from DM, Self Middle, East High, Cleveland Central High, UAPB, MDCC, and Alcorn. She was there. So if nothing, come on now. If nothing else, it will be great PR for absolutely. Absolutely. And this is how you got to think, right? Because you'll look at Twitter and the small, whatever. But me personally, I would just be like, yo, that's a great story. That's a great situation. That's a great it's a great PR move, right? It's a great PR move, but most HBCUs are reactive instead of proactive, right? To be there for that kid in that moment, half scholarship, full scholarship, that's a whole nother argument. But to help them in whichever possible way they could with just raising money to help pay off the car, I mean, come on, man. Like, I just feel like that's something that could have been done. Even if it's Line Brothers, right? Like, I think he's Omega Psi Phi. Like, Omega Psi Phi chapter of Alcorn could have got together. I think he plays the UAPB or something like that. But Omega Psi Phi could have got together at Alcorn and raised money for him to pay his car off. Frat, right? Like, is that not what frats are about? You telling me there's not enough Omega Psi Phi Bamas that could have put 10 to 15K together to help a young man pay off his car? So Cedric Thomas wouldn't be the repo man of the year? That's all I'm saying. So, listen, at the end of the day, there's something that had transpired. We don't know all the details. I don't have all the details. There's something that has transpired at Alcorn with Cedric Thomas that made this kid jump on Twitter and tell his story and felt he needed to get it out to the public. Right? And I think it's a good time. Like, G's probably going to jump on and tell you, he got documents. And listen, I hope G can expound because he gonna have to talk about it. He gonna have to talk about it. He the Alcorn representative. He gonna have to speak on it, right? And 9 times out of 10, he gonna give you the Alcorn side, right? Of just that's life. That's how true step. Like, there's a Tyler Smith side, there's an Alcorn and Cedric Thomas side, and then there's the truth, right? So he's going to give it to you raw and real of what transpired on the Alcorn side. Hopefully Tyler Smith comes out with more details about what circumstances happened with him. And then maybe in the middle, we'll find out what really happened at Alcorn. But at the end of the day, man, this is a sad situation, man. I'm going to pray for Tyler Smith. And at the end of the day, let me say this. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't want to say this because I didn't graduate, but thank you. This is my point. You can't keep bragging about how we're family, how we treat them. They need to come here and do this for us. And then you don't take care of your own. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But let me just say this.
I miss you, baby. I swear I do. Miss you. I miss you, baby. I swear I do. Miss you.
One more time.
I miss you, baby. I swear I do. Miss you.
Oh. Oh. This would have never happened on. Hey, listen. This would have never happened on.
I miss you, baby. I swear I do. Miss you.
Oh man, this would have never happened under Fred McNair's watch. If Fred McNair was still at Alcorn, would have never happened. Not on the Fred's watch. Not on the Fred's watch. See? Sometimes the grass ain't greener. Sometimes the grass ain't greener.
I miss you, baby. I swear I do.
Oh, he probably didn't know. He probably wouldn't know. He would have took care of it. He would have handled it. Let me stop. Listen. I've been waiting to do some Fred McNair type stuff. This is the best situation. I was just like, let me throw that. Let me throw that in there. So yeah, but listen, guys, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Listen. I'm going. Stop texting me. Listen. Okay, I know I have that number up there for a reason. I'm going to do the transfer evaluations. Please bear with me, okay? I'm a father of 3, about to be 4, okay? And my wife's pregnant. So I'm busy, okay? I'm busy. But I'm going to do the transfer evaluations. You don't have to keep asking me. If there's any player that you like, that you want, that you're like, hey, please tag me on Twitter, okay? Anybody that you really want, please tag me on Twitter, all right? I will definitely try to get it. I will try to get it done as best I can. I'm going to just listen. And when I start dropping videos, don't, oh, Scotty, this is a lot of videos. I haven't got, you better watch them. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. You better watch them. You're begging for me to drop these transfer evaluations. You better watch the damn videos. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to just leave it at that. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holla. God bless. Happy Father's Day to all my fathers.